Hello everybody, I'm Melissa and welcome back to Book Bar and welcome to my November end of month wrap up. In the month of November, I read a total of 29 books. 17 are in my mid-month wrap up and I read 12 in the second half of the month. My reading slowed down. I read quite a few bigger books and I was traveling to see family, so I wasn't working, so I don't listen to audiobooks while I'm with my family. So really the only time I had to read was at the end of the night when I was pretty tired. So not a ton of reading, but that's fine. So I am carrying one book over into the month of December, and that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. It's a big boy. I have started it, but I know I will not be finishing it. I've read like 60 pages of it so far this month, so I'm definitely carrying it over into next month, which is fine. The first book that I finished in the month of November, in the second half of the month of November, was Faked by Carla Sorensen. This is the second book in the Ward Sisters quartet, the four Ward sisters. This follows Claire, who's one of the twins, and she thinks she's in love with her best friend, or with her twin sister Leah's best friend, but they're very similar, and he's never really noticed her, and so one day she agrees to go on a date with him to this family function to pretend to be Leah, and she's thinking oh, this is my moment. Well, lo and behold, that his brother Beau ends up showing up, and so Beau and Claire end up hitting it off and having a little bit of a relationship, and it was cute and fun. It was kind of sad at times, especially the end of it when everything happened. The third act conflict really was a lot, but I gave it 4.5 stars. But it's a sports romance, fake dating. It's snowed in, so that's great. Slow burn, and yeah, I used to like your brother, but now I like you type of feelings. It was a good time. And then the next book I finished was Visions of You by Catherine Cowles. This is the start of her next series. I've still only read one Catherine Cowles book besides this, but she had this for free to listen to or read on ebook. It's just a little short novella setting up the world for the next series. This follows Violet, I think. No, sorry, West and Lex, and West has always kind of had a crush on Lex, who is his sister's best friend, and Lex has always had a thing for West, but neither of them told the other person. And it's friends to lovers, siblings best friend. It's novella. Always been you. He kind of becomes a bodyguard for her. He owns this big company and does bodyguard work, and she is a famous, not really famous, but she does she's an influencer kind of, if I remember correctly, and she has this person writing her notes saying you belong to me and all this stuff. So West's sister basically calls West and says, hey, you need to come help Lex out. So he goes and helps out. It's a short novella. It's only 89 pages. So I don't rate novellas that are under 100 pages, so I did not rate this one, but that's fine. Then the next book that I finished was Cold Hearted Boss by R.S. Gray. The few R.S. Gray books that I've read have been rom-com-y. This one was much more serious. There was a lot of sadness in it. I gave 5 stars. It's Ethan and Taylor. It's a small town age gap romance, boss employee. Basically, Taylor is down on her luck, and she works a terrible job where she's a maid for a hotel chain or hotel, and her boss is smarmy and gross. And one night at the bar, she sees this man in a suit, and he follows her into her bathroom because they've been making eyes at each other. He follows her into the bathroom, and she then proceeds to steal his wallet, thinking, oh, he's not going to miss it. But she ends up not being able to go through with stealing it, and gives it to the bartender and says he's going to come back for this. Give it to him. Well, the bartender had ended up stealing the money that was in the wallet, and Ethan thought that it was her all along. Well, a couple months later, there is this new big project an hour outside of town, and Taylor goes to work on this project, and Ethan wants to keep a close eye on her because he thinks that she's there to steal money from people and money from the guys that are out there working hard, when really she's just there for a job so that her sister can have a good education and do all the things she never got to do. And of course, they're going to fall in love along the way. So yeah, I gave 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Then the next book that I finished was my reread of The Hating Game. I still absolutely adored this book. It's still 5 stars. Josh and Lucy are just adorable. They're so fun. I love this book so much. It's like the original hate to love office romance. You know, when you think office romance, this is the book you think of. When you hate to love, this is the book you think of. It's fantastic. I love it. Still great. Still 5 stars. Then the next book that I finished was A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I read this and I put it in a vlog. I will link it up here, where I read books for like fantasy romance type books. And I enjoyed this. It's very slow and it's kind of like, I feel like it's very like slice of life type of book. I gave it 4 stars. It was fine. I had a good time. I will probably continue the series, but where it is now, like, I don't need to continue. Like, it didn't fully end on a cliffhanger to where I'm like, oh my god, I need to pick it up. But there was enough of a cliffhanger that I am intrigued enough to continue. Then the next book that I finished was Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. Also read this for my fantasy romance vlog. This is a young adult / new adult fantasy romance where based off of Chinese mythology or folklore. I'm terrible at what the difference between mythology and folklore is. So sorry, I'm not sure which one it is, but it basically, the moon goddess had a daughter with an archer, a very famed archer, who was given, I don't want to say it, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was very good. And basically, the moon goddess had hidden her daughter from the world, and nobody knew. The emperor and the empress didn't know, and they had punished the moon goddess for something that she had done, and she hid her daughter when she was punished. And now things are starting to happen because her daughter is starting to become more powerful. So people are taking notice of the moon goddess and her world, and so she needs to protect her daughter. So she sends her daughter off to go live with her like maid's family or caretaker. I don't know what she was. Could have been a lover. I don't remember fully what she was to them. And so she goes, but something happens along the way, and the daughter of the moon goddess ends up being taken by like the emperor and the empress, and she enters this competition and becomes close with the emperor's son. And there may be a little romance there, and then there may be a little love triangle because there may also be a captain of the guard who might have a little thing, but not everyone is who they say they are, and things happen. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars, and I'm really excited to read the next book in the series. It is a duology, but it does end satisfyingly enough that I'm not like, I need to know now what happens. Then the next book that I finished was The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese. This is a super fun like holiday novella. It's very similar to The Hating Game in vibes. It had Hate to Love, Grumpy Sunshine. They worked together. They owned a book. They managed a bookstore together. It was Gabriella and Jonathan. Not Josh. Gabriella is on the spectrum. It is on Voices because Chloe Leese is on the spectrum. And so it was great. I had a great time reading it, and I gave it 5 stars. I think, yeah, 5 stars. It was a good time. It was more than 100 pages, so I did rate it. But I had a great time with it. It was fun. I did feel like the Hating Game vibes, and I enjoyed it. Then I read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I'm trying to kind of read the Goodreads Choice Awards books and seeing if they are worthy of being there. And I can say that The Bodyguard was. It was fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. I loved that it was a female bodyguard and like a male actor. And she is just Hannah is just awesome, badass. Like, she could hurt you with a pen, or I think, you know, it's like crazy. And Jack is an actor, and he lives in Houston, and he is coming to town after some stuff happened, and he's kind of estranged. His mom is really sick, and he's estranged from part of his family, and he comes to town, and things happen, and he has to pretend to fake date Hannah because he doesn't want people to know that she is his bodyguard. He has had some, not threats, but he does have like a light stalker. And then, you know, of course, fake dating leads to real feelings. And it was really good. There was a part where Jack pretended like he didn't really care for Hannah, and my heart broke at that part. Broken. Then I finished City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. This is a fantasy romance about a seemingly human girl and a demon, a devil, by the name of Darian, who runs like the Hell's Gate, and he is like the most badass demon there is, and he's tasked with tracking down this girl who there are a lot of people after, but she's just a human. Nobody knows why people are after her. Well, secrets are uncovered, things are found out, and of course things aren't always what they seem. So I gave this one 3.5 stars. I also read that in my fantasy romance vlog. I think this was only Kayla Edwards' second book, so I don't want to like say much. The pacing was off. Like the first part of the book I flew through. Like I read the first like part of the book in like one night. I flew through it, and then it took me a really long time to like continue to get into it, and I felt like not a lot happened for how long it was. And so yeah, I mean, I am excited to pick up the second one. Again, it ended in a way where I'm satisfied, so I'm not like, oh my god, I need to know, but it also, like, I'm excited to pick up the next one when it comes out in January. It probably won't be January when I pick it up, but I'm excited to pick it up next year. So yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars. It was a good time. It was just very, very long, and I felt like there were some pacing issues. Then I finished In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. This is the second book in the Lovelight Farms, which follows the 3 owners of the Lovelight Farms, and then there will be a 4th one that comes out sometime next year. But this follows Becca and Evie. Becca is the farmer on the ranch, or on the, he plants the trees and does all the other things, and has come up with like other ways to farm and help them throughout the year when it's not Christmas tree season. And it follows Evelyn, or Evie, who was the social media person who came to visit in the first one, and it turns out they had a one-night stand together, and so she comes back because the last time she was happy was at Lovelight, and things happened from there, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I gave 5 stars. I had a great time. So then, of course, I had to finish the series up to this point, and read Mixed Signals, also by B.K. Borison. Every book in the series got better and better and better. This book is fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. This is Layla, who's the baker. She owns the bakehouse. It's her story with Caleb, who was the deputy in the first 2, but now he's actually a teacher because he's just too nice of a person. He would let people go with like weird things. So he had to be, but he never wanted to be the deputy. He just was doing it to help. And so he is now a teacher, and he sees Layla out on a date, and Layla has just had a string of horrible, horrible dates and dated really terrible men. And Caleb is the type of person who falls in love way too fast, and he thinks that he's doing something wrong, so he asks Layla to date him and grade him on his dating. And, you know, there may be a teach me trope. I mean, neither of them are virgins, but she kind of teaches him how to date, and he teaches her some stuff in the bedroom, and oh my god, it is so good. So good. A little unsanitary with what they do in the bakehouse, but, you know, that's fine. But yeah, I give 5 stars. Each book in this book got better and better. In this series has gotten better. Obviously, the author has started to really become a good, figured out her craft. They had only, Love Light Farms was the first book, so every book got better and better. And so I definitely think everyone should go pick up the series. It is fantastic. All 3 books were 4 to 5 stars. So then the last book that I finished this morning, was The Naughty, the Nice, and the Nanny. It's like it's the Holiday Brothers, book number 1. It's just a fun little novella by Will and Ash or Devney Perry. And it was cute. It was fun. I gave it 4 stars. It's a nanny trope. It's Natalie and Maddox, single dad nanny, slow burn novella. Basically, Natalie is called on her vacation and asked, she works for a nannying service, and she's asked to go help out this man who needs a nanny for his daughter for the week between like Christmas and New Year's, because he's in town visiting. And turns out that it's like this super attractive man that she's always had a crush on, or had a crush on in high school. And his daughter is just looking for a little attention and some love. And yeah, I had a great time. I give it 4 stars. Like I said, it's just, it's just a fun novella. I am really tired of, in the nanny trope, it always being the mom is just a deadbeat. Not that that's a problem. There are deadbeat moms out there. But like, why can't the mom why couldn't it just be like a mutual decision to part ways and things are happy and good? Why does the mom always have to be a raging bee? But, that's besides the point. I still love the books that I've read with this. I still love the nanny trope. It is great. But yeah, it's just my only complaint with it. But yes, those are the 12 books that I read the second half of this month. I still managed to talk for way longer than I thought I would. But it's fine. Hopefully, and like I said, I have continued Kingdom of Ash on into the next month, which was kind of a plan from the beginning. I knew I would start it in November, because for this Shyamalan, we have to read it by the 18th of December, and it is about 1,000 pages, so I wanted to break it up so that I'm not reading all of it in one go. So yeah, that is all I have for now. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me a Christmas tree emoji, because it's holiday season. So, all the fun stuff. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really helps me out, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye!